So today I am going to be doing this Kim Kardashian inspired Cannes makeup tutorial. She wore this look on the red carpet in Cannes at one of the events she was hosting, and Makeup by Mario did this. Bow down to Mario because this was flawless. I've never done a look like this before, so it really inspired me and I was like, I've got to try it. So if you want to learn how to recreate this look, then please keep watching. Okay, so first up, I'm going to be moisturizing my skin with the Botanics Organic Hydrating Day Cream. We want to make sure we have a ton of moisturizer on because we're going to be using a lot of powdered products. Okay, so now I am priming my lids with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. Boom! And I'm just setting that with some translucent powder and my Real Techniques setting brush. And going in with my Lorac Pro palette and the color Taupe, I am just going to run that through the crease. But just know I am blending like a mad woman. I want everything to look seamless. I'm pretty sure Mario used this palette for Kim and her look in Cannes because that's why I'm using it, because I saw on his Snapchat that he had snapped a picture of his Lorac Pro palette and it was like basically empty and he was like, I need a new one. And then that night, Kim went out on the red carpet. So I'm assuming he used similar colors. So next up, I am going in with a Sigma E55, and that is just a chubby, fat, flat shadow brush, basically. And I'm just going in with light bronze and champagne. I mixed the two together to get it a little bit better with my skin tone because her look wasn't too gold, and it was looking a little too gold for me, so I put a little bit of that champagne on there. Oh, I'm using a MAC 217, the same one I used before, and I'm just going to make sure everything's seamless and buff through the crease. It looked like she had a little bit of red-ish brown or brick-colored eyeshadow in the outer corner. So I just went in with MAC's Brown Script eyeshadow and a Sigma Blending E25 brush, and I just buffed that in the outer corner, really only concentrating in the outer corner, and then I buffed a little bit into the crease to make sure that it was seamless and everything blended nicely. And then going back in with my Sigma E55, I'm just going to pack on a little bit more of that shimmery shadow. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't losing any of it by blending out that MAC Brown Script. And now going in with my Maybelline Gel Eyeliner and my MAC 210 brush, I'm just going to do a thin line, I'm going to tight line, and then I'm going to do a thin line on top. Doesn't look like Kim has too thick of a liner on top because obviously that bottom line wing is boom insane. That is the star of the show. So I am going to use this liner to kind of create that eventually, but this initially is just going to be this thin little baby liner. And then because I wanted to make sure I wasn't doing it thick, I went in with a clean MAC 266 and just kind of buffed in the areas that were a little bit sparse and I couldn't really get. And I didn't want to make a huge thick liner because you know how it gets. You try to go back and touch up and it gets crazy. Using no excess product, I started to create my wing with what I had left over on my brush. Now we're going to be starting on the lower lash line, the crazy lash line. So I'm starting out with my MAC eyeliner, the Kohl eyeliner in Feline, and I'm just going to run that through my lash line and just really make it thick. Like just trying to do the most, and we don't need to worry about it smudging because obviously we're gonna go back, we're gonna use other products, we're gonna buff this ish out because this is the star of the show. So now going in with the color Black from the palette and my MAC pencil brush, the 219 brush, and I'm just going to buff it out. So with no extra product, I'm just going to start making that line a little bit thicker with this pencil brush. And then I'm just going to keep buffing it slowly until I felt like it was right, and I just kept building it up. Went back in with my 266 brush, no extra product, to make it very sharp, and then started buffing the black into my outer brown script color. So I just kind of was buffing that toward my lash line and then up into the crease a little bit more so it looks seamless and more smoked out. And then it looked like Kim had a little bit of blue or like a silvery color in the outer corner and the inner corner of her eyes where the wing is. So I decided slate was probably the best bet and maybe something Mario used. So I went into the inner corner with this on the 266 that I used for the eyeliner and everything. And I just made sure to blend it and not do it in the middle, just blend it into the middle so it kind of did an ombre slate to black effect. Did the same thing I did earlier with the black and just did it with the slate color, and then I just added a little bit of slate to the under eye area because I just wanted to make sure it all looked sleek. And because I didn't have any makeup remover right by me, I used a makeup wipe and my MAC 212 and just cleaned up the area underneath my line and really made it sharp. And that's something you can do. It's pretty easy, and you could just use a makeup wipe, but this was more precise and I wanted to make sure it was perfection. And then I went back in with my Sigma brush and I just blended everything, made sure everything still looked bomb.com. And now, oh my goodness. So my friend Kelsey Carter, she is a musician. She is the new face of Art & Cian's Monster Big mascara, and she gave this to me and I thought I would try it out. And I have been loving it, and it has this big, huge, thick brush, and it is just super black mascara. I love it so much. So I had to use it. Shout out to my girl. And yeah, you guys should definitely go check it out and go buy one because it is amazing. All right, and now onto the brows. I have not used a Brow Wiz in a minute. This is the Brunette Brow Wiz, Anastasia Beverly Hills. Kim has obviously thicker, darker eyebrows than I do, and I was like, you know what? My hair's slicked back. It looks darker, so I'm just gonna go for this dark brow today. And then I just went in with a little bit of concealer and my Urban Decay Naked brush that came in my Naked palette, my original one. I never know what the name of this brush is, but it's just a synthetic flat brush, and I just used that just to make sure everything was seamless and gorge. And then I went in with a fluffy brush and just made sure that everything blended well and there were no harsh lines. So now I'm going in with something a little bit different. This is Camouflage Cream Derma color. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of this. It's very big in the makeup industry. This is for painting your face. It's a very thick and drying concealer, but from watching a lot of Mario's makeup tutorials, looking at his layout when he takes pictures of when he's doing makeup, he has these Derma colors in a smaller palette that he uses for concealer, but I'm pretty sure he mixes it with the Makeup Forever Professional Concealer. But these are some thick concealers, but they last and they don't crease as much as regular concealers do because they're not as creamy. These kind of adhere to your face, which is kind of crazy, and it looks like a ton of makeup. But when I was taking Scott Barnes' class, I did a Scott Barnes contouring class in LA. He used this and then would put a cream foundation on top and wouldn't put concealer on top of his foundation. He put it underneath. So you're highlighting from within. That's what they say, or that's what he said, was you're highlighting from within. So you put that concealer, brighten up the skin underneath the makeup, and that is how you look so glowy. So I tried to do that today, and I just really blended it out with my Sigma Precision Flat P80 brush and my Beauty Blender. I just went back and forth between the two so I could get really close to that eyeliner and then really melt that concealer into my skin with the Beauty Blender. I contoured a little bit. This is a Nigel's number 6 brush and the same Derma Camouflage in a darker shade. This is the D54 shade. I just tried to contour up my face, just kind of make it a little bit darker because it was so light and bare, and I was like, ugh, I don't know how this is gonna turn out because I have not done this makeup style on myself. I have done it on others, so this was my first time trying it out, and I think it actually worked pretty well. So now I'm going in with my foundation. I am using my Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation in the color 115, and I am using Clinique Even Better foundation in the color Beige 25. I am using, to mix those two together and put on my face, a Pro Stippling brush. This is the Sephora brush in the number 42. It wasn't doing exactly what I wanted, so I went back in with my Beauty Blender and just really blended this out. I don't show you on screen, but I blended for a very long time. That is the secret from Makeup by Mario. I have watched some of his interviews that he's done, and he says he blends with that Beauty Blender for so long, and that is to make that look like your own skin even though you are wearing so much makeup. I went back in with that contour shade and I just contoured a little bit more, and then went on my nose with a Sigma P80 brush and just contoured the center of my nose. And now going in with my Cameo powder. This is great for baking under the eyes if you have light skin tones. And I'm just using a sponge wedge, and I'm just doing this in an upside down triangle how I would normally set my under eye area. And then I'm going to put this also in between my eyebrows, because right there is where I crease a lot, and I just want to make sure there is no creasing here. And now to powder the rest of my face, which is also something that I learned from Scott Barnes, using a powder puff and my Laura Mercier translucent powder, I'm just smacking that all over the rest of my face. And then I am buffing away the powder underneath my eyes that was baking there with my Real Techniques setting brush. And then I'm going back in to make sure that that liner is fierce, girl. You don't want to get anything messed up. Sometimes the powder kind of falls upon your eyeshadow and your brows, so you just want to go back in and make sure that you touch anything up. And now to bronze up the skin, let's bring some life back into this skin. I'm going in with my Sephora Pro brush in the number 59, I believe, and my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Deep Dark, which I always use to bronze up my skin. And now going in with MAC's Harmony. This is what I use to contour, and my Stila Duo-Ended 24 brush. I'm using this to contour my face. You know Kim always got that contour, girl. So I always go a little bit higher up on my cheekbone when I'm doing something like a Kim Kardashian inspired look. And then I'm just going to bring that on my temples and down the bridge of my nose, etc., to make sure everything is cohesive. Okay, now for the lashes. Kim is Armenian and she has beautiful long lashes. I am not so fortunate. So I'm going in with my Wispy Me Aways by Velour Lashes and just popping those on. And now I am going on the bottom lash line and any sparse hairs in between those false lashes and my own lashes, and making sure those lashes are still popping. And now I am going to clean up a little bit. You know Kim, she's always got that contour just like bam. So going in with my Nars Ita brush and my Laura Mercier translucent powder, I am just going to carve dim cheekbones out. So now going in with my Monda 850 blush brush and my Nars Orgasm blush, I'm just going to pop this right on the apples of my cheeks and blend it a little bit into the contour. Kim always just has a little smooch of blush, like never too much. So, highlight as well. She wasn't too highlighted on this red carpet, so I just did a little bit of nose highlight with my Mary Luminizer by The Balm, and I did a little bit on my Cupid's bow. She just has the slightest hints of highlighter. Kim looked a lot more matte on the red carpet here, so I didn't want to do too much. So I actually used an eyeshadow brush to put this on. It's just a Kirkland brush that I think I got at Costco like ages ago. All right, so now moving on to the lips, I am going to be using OCC Lip Tar in Interlace and a Prestige Lip Liner in 02 Shimmer. First, I'm just going to be lining my lips and then filling them in with this color because I thought at first that I could just use this, but it was a little too brown. I needed to have a little more nude to bring it all together. I really just felt like I needed to mix the two pretty well. I actually ended up putting the Interlace on with a brush and I was like, I'm not feeling this. So I went straight in with my finger and I just really mixed the two together and I got the perfect shade. Like I really feel like this was like what Kim was wearing. Obviously we have different skin tones, but girl, I found you. I know what you're wearing. Just kidding. So this is the final look. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. It was so fun to recreate. I've never done anything like this before, and I hope I made Mario and Kim proud by slaying this look. I hope you all like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.